That's a 1,000-year storm for opponent. Those are scary. They have 2 open mana.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Lord Windgrace deck and see if we can win by burning everyone out with Valakut. Next on Commander Replay. The 2020 GoFundMe is active. If you want to do one-on-one deck reviews with me or get one of your decks played on video, be sure to check out the link in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Lord Windgrace today. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Death Chobo. And this is going to be an interesting Windgrace list. It wins through land-based combos, which aren't something that I play very often, so this should be kind of interesting. I've been looking at this opening hand for a little while. I can't decide if this is good enough. I wish it had another land in it. I think Life from the Loam might be good enough. I'm going to keep it. I don't know. This style of deck is pretty far outside my wheelhouse. Jund lands matter. Just not something I play a lot of, so hopefully I'm not over-evaluating what Life from the Loam can do for us, but there's a chance that I am. This is going to be a stronger game today as well. We have some stronger opponents on the field with us, and we'll take a look at those in just a moment. Brings it to our turn 1. There's another land that does make me feel a little bit happier. Actually, you know what? I think there's 45 lands in this deck, so this hand shall probably work out pretty good, actually. Let's play Taiga. Get Zurin Orb. There's one I haven't seen in a long time. Then get the Deathrite Shaman. And we'll pass like that. We've got Scapeshift in our hand, which is one of our win conditions. Basically, we get Valakut into play. And then if we can copy Valakut with Mirage Mirror or Vesuva, or I think there's one other thing that does it, then we Scapeshift, then things get wild. And everyone at the table probably dies when that happens. Chrome Mox for opponent. Into Talisman of Curiosity and Findhorn Elves. Pretty good turn 1 for the Kinnan. They said this is non-infinite Kinnan. We're not quite at that power level. That's like CEDH type stuff. I don't think this deck is that strong. It's pretty strong. I think it's going to be a very strong deck, but I don't think it's CEDH strong. Talisman for opponent. Brings it back to our turn. There's a fetch land. Fetch lands are really good for what we want to be doing. So play the Bloodstained Mire. Crack the Bloodstained Mire. Let's get a Badlands. Let's Life from the Loam, get the Bloodstained Mire back, and then next turn I'll probably Dredge. I don't think we need to attack with the Deathrite Shaman. I'm not sure that that's the thing that we need to be doing. Even I have my limits on things that I will and won't attack with. Dockside Extortion is coming in for opponent. That's going to be pretty good right here. Let's see how many treasures they get. It's going to be a couple. 4 treasures on Etali mana next turn. Going to cash some of them in right here. Let's see what they got. Going to cash all of them in for a Duretti. Ooh. Yeah, Duretti's pretty good. Lots of looting. Gonna do the loot thing. We can exile some stuff. That's cool. Steel Hellkite and Fiery Emancipation. No big deal. Next turn, they can sacrifice this Darksteel Citadel, get the Steel Hellkite. We can exile the creature first, though, and that might be a thing that we want to do. Kinnan coming into play. So we are playing Lord Windgrace, 2 in Jund for a Planeswalker that can be your commander, has 5 loyalty, +2, discard a card, then draw a card. If a land card is discarded this way, draw an additional card. -3, return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then -11, destroy up to 6 non-land permanents, then create 6 2/2 green cat warrior token creatures with Forest Walk. Yeah. Lord Windgrace, very powerful, just a lot of value stapled into this thing. So much value. That's a Faithless Looting. Opponent's got lands in the graveyard. That's good news for us. There's a lot of things I want to do this turn, but I don't think we can do them all. So ideally, I'd like to exile the Steel Hellkite. That would be nice, but we can't do that, and then also getting Mirage Mirror in would be pretty good. Getting a Duretti of our own would be very solid. Brings back to our turn. I'm not going to Dredge this turn. That's a Fire Covenant. That's actually pretty good. Play the Bloodstained Mire. Crack the Bloodstained Mire. There's red and green right there. Let's get a green and a red. I guess we'll get Bayou. Oh, what are we doing? Wish we had a 2-mana play. We could have 4 if we exile a land. That doesn't help us that much. I guess we have an answer to the Steel Hellkite now. It's not going to have haste. So that being the case, I'm going to go for the Mirage Mirror just to get it in. I really wouldn't mind getting a crack at the ready. And I guess we'll pass like that. Next turn, we may have to think about shooting Kinnan. Kinnan's probably going to get a lot of mana and a lot of value right here. We probably want to at least slow him down a little bit. Opponent's going to Beast Within the Duretti. Had plans for that Duretti. At least it's not one of our things, though. Opponent's going to play Spine Rock Knoll. That puts them into a bad spot, actually, because they used all their tokens to get that Duretti in, and instead they could have, Etali. Now, with the Beast Within, that's still like not a great place to be, and they probably just Beast Within the Etali, but well, they made a land drop, hit a Star Compass right here, not too bad. Dockside going to swing into the Vadrok. Let's take a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up, Champion Athune piloting Etali Primal Storm. He said this is like a super all-in Etali, so, you know, that's what we're going to expect. And that's kind of what Etali is anyway. It's just cast Etali, attack with it, hope it wins the game. Hope no one interacts with it, and that is the game plan today. Next up, we've got 7 Deadly Sins piloting Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy. As we talked about, this is a non-infinite Kinnan, but it does say, whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. So Mana Dorks and Mana Rocks. Really good with Kinnan. Thus, you'll see they have multiple Signets and Fyndhorn Elves in play. Down to 1 card in hand, so it looks like they're going to be having to activate that ability pretty soon. And then finally, we've got Hammerbangers piloting Vadrok, Apex of Thunder. There's some combos with this. We explored them maybe about a week or 2 ago. Someone submitted a Vadrok deck to me. And there's definitely some interesting things you can do, being able to recast stuff from your graveyard. So when you mutate it, you may cast target non-creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. There's some loops you can do with Dockside Extortionist and some of the milk cards that are pretty interesting, and gives you another way to go about doing Lion's Eye Diamond, Underworld Breach type combos as well, so it can do some stuff. Opponent's going to crack another fetch, another land in the graveyard. That's good for us. I think this turn I'm going to dredge the Life from the Loam. Try to get some lands in the graveyard, and then potentially minus Windgrace if we hit lands. Heuristic Study for opponent. That's a good one. Wouldn't mind copying that at some point. I'm not exiling a land yet, just so it's there if we want it. I'm going to dredge Life from the Loam right here. We hit Ramonov Excavator, land, Seasons Past. We kind of wanted some of that. Let's play the Throne of the High City just in case of a wheel. Let's get Windgrace into play. So we're going to exile a land from opponent's graveyard. We'll go for this Plateau. We'll add a green. Then get Windgrace. It's going to go into the Heuristic Study. Can't do anything about that. Hope it's not a counter. They have 2 mana up over there. It's not ideal. Not paying. It resolves. That's huge. I'm going to go -3, return 2 lands, get Bloodstained Mire, and get Verdant Catacombs. Ramping 2. Really good. It may die to combat stuff. That's fine. We'll just recast it if it does. Also, we can copy things with Mirage Mirror now. That's also really good. I think I'm going to set a stop on opponent's turn. We'll crack our fetches right here. Crack Bloodstained Mire. We'll get a mountain. Crack Verdant Catacombs. Get a forest. So in our opponent's upkeep, I'm going to copy Heuristic Study with the Mirage Mirror, and this may work, this may not. We don't have that much else to do with the 2 mana, so we'll see if we can draw a couple cards right here. Rogue's Passage for opponent. Thran Dynamo coming in for opponent. 2 Heuristic Study triggers. They can pay for 1. Which one do they pay for? Looks like ours. Looks like ours. Yep, paid for our trigger. Makes me sad. Hey, they play a Scroll Rack. Still 1 floating, though. Sweet, we get to draw with the Heuristic Study. Nice. There's an Evolution Sage. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. That seems pretty good. Opponent's got 1 floating, and they activate the Scroll Rack. Yep, Beast Token into the Lord Windgrace, so Windgrace going to go down right here. I still think it was worth getting the ramp. Back to the command zone. Opponent's going to activate Kinnan. Oh my! They just put a Blightsteel Colossus into play. That's bad. That is a bad. Llanowar Elves, Heuristic Study. This is indestructible, so Fire Covenant does not kill it. We could, if we untap, don't know that we will. If we did untap, we could potentially Mirage Mirror it, and they could trade, and the Infect would kill both of them. Blightsteel Colossus into Champion of Thune. He can block with the Dockside and take 9 Infect. We're going to take 2 off the Kinnan. Yep. That's a turn 4 Blightsteel Colossus. I don't know that anyone was expecting that. Even among strong decks, that's not something you run into all that often. So opponent blocks with the Dockside, goes to 9 Infect. Cannot take another hit from the Blightsteel Colossus. Funny story. If we play a land, we could proliferate Champ out of the game. That's pretty silly. Felwar Stone. Vadrok into play. No mutate. Just trying to get a blocker for the Blightsteel Colossus. That's a Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor is very interesting. Let me go check my instructions for the combos again. We probably still need a few more lands before we can really do the Valakut thing. I don't see any land destruction in play. Field of the Dead is also a card. Something that kills Blightsteel Colossus is also not an awful idea. I think Toxic Deluge is in the deck. Yeah, there's a Toxic Deluge in the deck. Is there anything that's less painful than Toxic Deluge? It's a lot of life loss. No, that looks like probably the best option. Anything that does anything like really wild right here? Piers Whim, you say? Oh, no, they can just sacrifice one of the other things instead. They have a Chrome Mox. Yeah, I think it's going to be Toxic Deluge. Play a Swamp. Play Demonic Tutor. Rhystic Study will trigger. I think we can pay. Get Toxic Deluge. Use Deathrite Shaman. Exile this land from opponent's graveyard. To add a black. Play Toxic Deluge. You have to pay 11 life right here. I'm going to go 12. Just in case. I don't know what's in that Kinnan deck, but on the random off chance that it gets pumped up by 1, I am going to not pay for this Rhystic Study so that we can leave up 2 mana on the Mirage Mirror, in case that's relevant. Deluge X12. All the creatures getting blued up. I believe the Colossus shuffles itself back into the library. We could Life from the Loam right here, or we could leave up Mirage Mirror. Maybe just Life from the Loam right here, I guess. Get our 2 lands back. And another Rhystic Study trigger that we can't pay for. Oh, someone pointed out that we could have used the Mirage Mirror to copy the Colossus, kill someone, and then wipe the board. Yeah, that would have worked. Although, turn 4 is really early, even for high-power decks. So, I figure give everyone, at least another turn or 2 to do something. Especially, I feel bad for, Etali decks because they just get focused. And when they get focused, they literally just can't do anything. Now, when you let them do things, they do everything and they win the game. But just kind of that all-in style of play that you get out of red decks. So, tough place to be. But, yeah, that was a pretty savage hit right there. In normal circumstances, if all things were equal, which they aren't always when the camera's on, like right now, if I were them, I send the Blightsteel Colossus at us because Lord Windgrace. Lord Windgrace deals with lands. Lands are hard to stop. Goblin Welder coming in for opponent. We never exiled their creature, which I had wanted to do. That may rear its head at some point, but we still just need to play the Evolution Sage and proliferate one time and they will die. Kinnan back to play. Does not pay for the Rhystic Study. Vadrok with a lot of cards in hand, up to 10 cards. There's some Swiftfoot Boots. Also into the Rhystic Study. 11 cards. Boots on the Kinnan. Yep. Kinnan into the Etali opponent. That's a 1,000-Year Storm for opponent. Those are scary. They have 2 open mana. What can we do if we copy that 1,000-Year Storm? That's not scary at all. Opponent has to discard down to hand size. I'm going to dredge. We mill Genesis Wave, Strip Mine, Thespian Stage. Those are decent lands. What are we doing this turn? So we can use Mirage Mirror to copy the Thran Dynamo. That gets us an extra mana if we want it. We could also copy... we could try copying the 1,000-Year Storm, but I don't know if we're there yet. We're on 7 mana. 8 when we play a land, which is enough to get Windgrace back. The problem is we need to survive and not die to whatever's in the hand of Vadrok. If opponent could haste or steal Hellkite, they could theoretically kill Vadrok. I think that just puts me back on Windgrace. Cast Windgrace. Rhystic Study. Don't have a land in right now. Can't do anything about it. Let's play this Bloodstained Mire. Crack the Bloodstained Mire. Get Blood Crypt untapped. Minus Windgrace. Get Strip Mine and I guess Thespian Stage. Oh, I forgot to get green mana right there. Whoops. So we're not going to be able to Fire Covenant. Yeah, that was a whoops. It's not good. Leaves us with Mirage Mirror stuff, but not much else. Thinking about strip mining something. We'll see what opponents have. I guess we can still Mirage Mirror something. If a creature comes down, we can copy it. Yeah, not getting a second colored mana right there could actually be a really big deal. Etali coming into play. Oh, opponent used their Haneware Battlements? Sure they didn't want to do that. Okay, they've got Swiftfoot Boots. Ooh, opponent's gonna 2-mana Rift the Etali. Ouch. If they had 1 more mana, they could... No, actually, no, they've got enough to... well, no, they can get Steel Hellkite, but then they can't... They don't have the mana to activate Steel Hellkite to blow up the 1,000-Year Storm. They can still get it, though, and swing with it if they want. They pay for the Rhystic Study instead. Any card draw spell, and we're probably just boned. Yeah, they're going to get their Steel Hellkite, sacrifice a Star Compass. I'm thinking about strip mining some lands over there, because that's going to be their choking point of just having enough mana to be able to cast everything. Opponent's got an Ulamog Ceaseless Hunger. That's probably going to get some stuff. What do they want to get? Steel Hellkite and 1,000-Year Storm. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. We'll see if they They would need a free counterspell to counter the body of Ulamog, but it's hard to stop the trigger, especially with no mana. Kinnan, Slam Eldrazi. That looks like the deck. So 1,000 Year Storm and Steel Hellkite into exile. Looks like the game won't be over just yet. I can certainly appreciate that. Opponents out of mana. Can't move the Ulamog over. Actually, I think they hardcasted that Ulamog. Yeah, they would have had to, because the other ability doesn't give them the cast trigger. So, yeah. Hardcasting Ulamog. Turn 6. Kinnan makes a lot of mana. Kinnan gonna swing into our Lord Windgrace. That being the case, use Mirage Mirror, copy the Ulamog, block Kinnan, leave up Strip Mine just in case. Kinnan goes down. It's going to be pretty costly for them to have to recast that, but they still got an Ulamog in play, and Ulamog's pretty good. Opponent said, I take it back. Sad face, yep. Forgot about the Mirage Mirror. Yeah, you could get people with this thing. This card, man, I need to use this more. It's weird because, like, you don't know what it's going to do when you put it into the deck, but if opponents have strong stuff, you get to have strong stuff too, and that's really cool. So Hammer has 10 cards in hand, but hasn't ramped like crazy. If one of those cards is the Dockside Extortionist, then they'll probably have a pretty good time. But if it's not, if they don't have like some sort of ramp in their hand, then I could see them not getting that much done right here. If they got a Preordain that they're going to start with. Now, thank God that the 1,000 Year Storm got shot, because with this Preordain right here, we probably certainly would have lost had that stuck around. Oh, that's a Mystic Sanctuary. Card's pretty busted. Gonna get back Cyclonic Rift. That seems pretty reasonable. May have some trouble with our permanents. We'll see when opponent wants to use it. Probably at least not till Etali's turn, because Etali, but don't know. Although this puts it back on top of the library, right? Yeah, it's on top of the library, so they would need to draw it, which they have Heuristic Study. Not that hard to do. They've got the mana. I don't know that we can Scapeshift this turn. Opponent's got all their mana open. 9 cards in hand. Like, what's the likelihood that they don't have a counterspell? One thing we could look at, Evolution Sage, like there's some chance that we get Ultimate Windgrace? No. It's an 11? Yeah, 11's a lot. I don't think we're getting 11 lands. Well, Scapeshift we might. If Scapeshift were to resolve, it would be very possible. Opponent has a lot of cards in graveyard, a lot of good ones anyway, and we could Bojuka Bog them. That would get them pretty good, I think. Oh, what to do this turn. You know, copying an Ulamog and swinging somewhere always feels like a pretty good idea. Getting some mana out of the Thran Dynamo doesn't seem awful. If we copied this into an Ulamog, that would take 2 mana, and we sent it at them, they would probably Rift, which means we would have already used Windgrace. Think I'm gonna do the draw discard with Windgrace plus mode. I'm gonna discard the Verdant Catacombs. Ooh. Mina and Den, Eternal Witness. Those are cards. What does Eternal Witness get us? Eternal Witness gets us Demonic Tutor, which can get us a Valakut. Or a Seasons Pass. Seasons Pass seems ridiculous. Genesis Wave, also ridiculous. Alright, that was a good draw. So we've used Windgrace already. Let's use Mirage Mirror. Copy the Ulamog. Opponent's going to draw a card with Azorius Charm. Oh, we haven't casted anything yet. They don't have the Rift yet. So they're going to have to 2-mana Rift, I think. That actually changes the equation a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they only have 6 mana. Let's say they have a Simian Spirit Guide in hand. Okay, yeah, they're going to Rift our Ulamog. We can't activate that again, can we? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, that's going to get bounced. So main phase 2, we're going to play Mina and Den. Actually, before we do that, so Eternal Witness can get us Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor can get us Valakut. We're on 8 mana. We're 1 short. Yeah, let's get Eternal Witness. This could have all gone differently. Opponent's going to... they're going to Mystical Tutor. Gross. I guess we can pay. We should pay. They put Swords of Plowshares on top of their deck. Okay, that's fine. That's just for the Ulamog. Eternal Witness, get back. Man, Seasons Pass is so good. I'm going to get Demonic Tutor to play it safe. Seasons Pass would be like the bigger, greedier play that's more prone to be countered and have bad things happen. So get Demonic Tutor, play Demonic Tutor. That's going to go in the Heuristic Study. We're going to let that go. Opponent's going to Swords on the Ulamog. Sure. They gain a bunch of life. We're going to get Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Do we play Valakut the Molten Pinnacle? It does enter tapped. Yeah, we should do that. I have tapped Crappy once again. Denying us potential further plays. Yeah, I was expecting to kind of get Mina and Den in at some point, and then that didn't happen, so There we are. Get Valakut into play. If opponent taps out for any reason, then we just try to Valakut Scapeshift. Not piloting this the best, though I kind of expected that on the way in. Again, lands matter, Jund? Not my wheelhouse at all. Etali coming back to play. At least we got a blocker in, so we can protect Windgrace, so that's nice. Etali with boots. Here we go. Swinging into the Windgrace, so we're going to have to throw the Internal Witness in front. Etali trigger. Wheel of Fortune Dream Eater. Yeah, the wheel is why I wanted to get Valakut into play. Though I suppose we are a Windgrace deck, we can get it out of the graveyard pretty easily, but... Yep, Dream Eater coming in. Surveilling may return target non-land permanent opponent controls to its owner's hand. What are they going to go with? It hasn't entered the battlefield yet. Wheel of Fortune on the stack. We're going to lose Scapeshift. That was the one we wanted. Also going to lose Mirage Mirror. Yeah, we're losing good stuff. See if there's any recursion in the deck to bring these things back. Choose a replacement effect. I'd like to draw all the cards, please. Oh, right, we have Dredge. We'll Dredge once. What do we get? We got Dread Presence. Dread Presence is part of some of our wins. Urborg is interesting. Ooh. Urborg, Dread Presence. We need to find a way to get Valakut. Or we need to find a way to get Scapeshift back to our hand. What's this one do? Sacrifice another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X. Put it onto the battlefield. Interesting. Pier's Whim. Reasonable. Sylvan Library. Crucible of Worlds. We milled Dark Depths. That's always a good one. We've got Dark Depths, Thespian Stage combo, but might be hard to get that through all the control going on over there. Opponent can return a non-land permanent. Looks like Windgrace is the most appealing option in this moment. Gonna return the Rhystic Study. Sick of that Rhystic Study. I'm cool with that. Opponent will have to use some of their turn. Kind of cuts down the number of things they can do if they want to get that Rhystic Study back into play. Still Etali coming into our Windgrace, so we're going to throw Eternal Witness in front. Before the wheel, we had a pretty good chance of untapping with our Windgrace. There are boots over here, and now that they have 7 cards in hand, high likelihood that they'll be able to get a creature with haste if they want to. What can this shoot? So when we play a swamp, we can draw a card and lose life, or 2 damage to any target. Any target's pretty cool. Any target is pretty cool. Do a little mountain check right now. 4 mountains, not too far away. Whoa, Pier's Whim searches for any land, which can be Vesuva. That's kind of crazy. I would love to get multiple land plays on our turn. Well, we'll see if Windgrace sticks. Kinnan back to play for a lot of mana. 49 life is a lot. This deck... I have a feeling that this deck does not like life gain. I mean, you can get a lot of triggers, but, you know, the more life someone has, the more triggers you need to get. It's not... At least from some of the Valakut lines, it's not like you truly go infinite, so that's a thing. Opponent equips the boots onto Kinnan. Let's see if they want to attack or not. Swing into the face of the Vadrok opponent. That's going to help us, I think. Uh-oh. Whirlwind of Thought. That card's pretty crazy. Rhystic Study back to play. Only 3 mana up for opponent. Wish we could get that Scapeshift back. Brings it back to our turn. Infernal Tribute. Oh, what is this for? Sacrifice a non-token permanent. Draw a card. Is this part of a combo or something? Doesn't say that it is. Yeah, I don't know what this is for. We have plenty of cards, so I don't know that that's the thing we need to do. Actually, I have some interesting questions about how Dread Presence and Urborg are going to work, but we'll see how it goes. Play Dread Presence. Rhystic Study will trigger. Yeah, that's going to be bad. Not paying. Play Urborg. Ooh, interesting. Urborg does trigger the Dread Presence. 2 damage to any target, huh? This Elvish Mystic seems like a reasonable target. Next, let's use the Thespian Stage to copy Valakut. Opponent's going to Jeskai Charm. Oh, no! Oh, they're going to shoot our Lord Windgrace. Oh, that's going to hurt. They're going to draw a card. Wow. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. Back to the command zone. Still copies the Valakut. That being the case, we already played a land. We need a second land drop. We have 5 total mana right now. Oh, man, that hurts so much. I'm going to play Pier's Whim. We'll pay for the Rhystic Study. Champ gonna Scroll Rack. Sure. There's a Mirror Works in opponent's graveyard. Hammer's gonna be foe. Everyone's gonna be a foe. We'll be a friend. What's the coolest land we can get? Glacial Chasm is a card that would actually be super relevant, I think. Coffers is also in the deck. That would get us all the mana that we need. But I think we need to not die to stuff, so... Glacial Chasm. That'll trigger Dread Presence. We do need to sacrifice a land. I'm going to shoot this Goblin Welder so nothing untoward happens. We need to sack a land. I think I'm just going to get rid of a forest. Probably get rid of this swamp, actually. We do have an Herborg in play. And we'll pass like that. Oh, yeah, losing the Windgrace hurt. Though we weren't going to kill anyone, but we were going to do probably a lot of damage off of the Valakuts. Cabal Coffers is also super enticing also. Trying to get that extra mana going. Just feel like, because Windgrace keeps getting blown up, just we're a little bit behind on mana. We haven't hit any mana doubling. Starting to get there now. If we can survive like a couple more turns. Might be tough. We're playing strong decks, so, you know, strong decks can do explosive things. Just kind of win out of nowhere, but we've got a Glacial Chasm that does keep us a little bit safe, but if Vadrok does some like mill-based combo, that's not going to help us very much. Opponent can activate Scroll Rack again, still digging for something. Maybe trying to set up the top of their library the right way. That's a Field of Ruin. That's not what you want to see. At least if they do that, we'll get a mountain. Field of Ruin on the Glacial Chasm. Yep, there that is. Get a mountain. Dread Presence will trigger. Do we want card draw right here? Yeah, I'm going to go for a card draw. That's a Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt is extra mana. Mana is good. Etali our way. Yep. Other thing our way. Also, yep. Changes their mind. Etali into Vadrok. 4-3 our way. That sounds better. I'll take 4 instead of 10. Etali will trigger. Opponent's going to Brainstorm Whirlwind of Thought. They can choose the card they put on top with Brainstorm. Probably put a land there. Etali trigger. Reality Shift. Aggravated Assault. Finale of Devastation. Finale of Devastation won't really do much. Reality Shift will. So will Aggravated Assault. Aggravated Assault could put them in the lead depending on how they hit. Opponent's going to Reality Shift our Dread Presence. Do we have a way to sacrifice that? Sacrifice the lands only? No, I think we're going to lose Dread Presence. Dread Presence was doing a bit of work for us. That makes me sad. And they do have enough mana for an additional attack. We manifest, what is it? It's a land? It's not helpful. So I guess we can block with it and then like get it back potentially later. No blocks. Aggravated Assault. Yep. Do it again. 4-3 back our way. 6-6 into Vadrok. Etali trigger. Underworld. Underworld Breach. Seething Song. Vraska. Vraska's good. Probably hit the Rhystic Study though, or this Whirlwind of Thought. It's probably a good idea. Breach is interesting because they're out of mana. Seething Song they have to play. They can play some like instants though. Do they have any instants? No, they just leave Underworld Breach in exile. And same thing with Seething Song. All right. Vraska into play. Opponent shoots the Rhystic Study. Down for that. Etali finally getting into this game a little bit. They've been having a rough go up to this point, but 2 Etali triggers, Aggravated Assault. They are now a threat. See what Kinnan's got. Command the Dreadhorde is in this deck, and apparently if you have Glacial Chasm in play, you don't take any of the damage, so you can just reanimate everything. So we could, you know, if we drew that off the top, potentially go Crucible of Worlds, get Glacial Chasm, get Command the Dreadhorde. Would be a pretty good time. Renin 6 was in this deck, by the way, which I did not add because budget reasons. It's like 75 tickets on Magic Online or something like that. So I put a Splendid Reclamation in instead, and Splendid Reclamation would be pretty solid. Better if we still had Dread Presence, but with all the Valakuts, if we can find some mountains to get into the graveyard, that'd be pretty good. Biomancer's Familiar coming in, seems good. Opponent's going to activate Kinnan. They can do it twice. Whiffs. Activates Kinnan again. Kozilek, Butcher of Truth, no big deal. Can't give it haste yet, though, but that Annihilator is going to matter. Opponent going to swing into this Vraska, and this should take it down. Vraska down. Vadrok's turn. Let's see what they've got. They've still got this Whirlwind of Thought, and I'm sure they can do some stuff with this. A lot of removal this game, keeping everyone off balance. Aria of Flame, that's a cool card. Really good in Feather. We'll get to gain 10 life, that's fun. But if they're playing it, they have hopes to take that life away, and it can do so pretty quickly. So it looks like Vadrok's on some sort of like Storm type of list. Storm, Underworld Breach kind of thing. That sounds about right. So everyone gains 10, we're back to 24. Other 2 opponents just been gaining life, not taking damage at all. No aggro in this game. Usually I like to see left totals going the other way. Ponder triggers Aria of Flame and Whirlwind of Thought. Opponent's going to Izzet Charm, just looting. Yep. Gonna start pointing the damage at the face of Kinnan. Puts a second counter on Aria of Flame. 5 mana left. Electrostatic Field. Uh-oh. More damage per spell. Down to 3 mana. 12 cards in hand. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Blast Zone. Cool card, but I don't think it's what we're looking for this exact second. Play the Mana Crypt. Play Crucible of Worlds. Get back Glacial Chasm. Response to that. Float a mana. Sack this forest. Do we try and get Windgrace back? How much is Windgrace? Windgrace is gonna be 9 total. That's a lot. That leaves us with a 2 mana play. Honestly, I think I'm on get the rest of our hand into play and then go Windgrace next turn or something. Let's get this Fiend Artisan. Hey, Fiend Artisan's a 7/7. I can do some blocking. That's good. Oh man, this makes us 1 short of Windgrace. I think I'm gonna make myself the Monarch. I think drawing cards is where we want to be right here, and I guess we just play Life from the Loam. Get back some stuff. Get the Dark Depths. Get the Throne of the High City back. Got lands in hand, and I think we pass like that. I think we're just trying to draw our way to command the Dreadhorde or something that can get back Scapeshift. End step Monarch trigger. Not going to dredge. Ooh, Exploration is a card that we've been badly needing. That'll give us 2 land plays, and that's really good. I think Etali's going to have a big turn, though. Etali going to combat, gets themselves a Thorn Mammoth. The game's freaking out. Gets themselves an Opt. They exile a mountain from us. Mountains are relevant. Opponent's gonna... Ooh, hey now. Opponent's gonna Narset's Reversal the Opt so that they can have the Opt. Aria Flame's gonna trigger. Electrostatic Field's gonna trigger. And luckily we've still got Glacial Chasm to hide behind. So, yeah. Might just have to ride out Glacial Chasm on this one. Opponent plays a Path of Exile on the Kozilek. Kozilek gonna go down. Bunch of things on the stack right here. Whirlwind of Thought, Electrostatic Field, Aria of Flame, targeting Kinnan. Path of Exile, Electrostatic, Aria of Flame, Narset's Reversal on Opt, and Thorn Mammoth coming in off of the Etali. Thorn Mammoth comes in, can fight up to 1 target creature. Gonna go for the Electrostatic Field, yep. Vadrok could be out of it this turn. If they can't answer this Etali right here, then they can activate Aggravated Assault and swing in and get them with commander damage. Oh, opponent got a Feast and Famine in play. I didn't even see that. So yeah, opponent's got a Feast and Famine, which means they are infinite. We're still good, I think, though. Until they can deal with Glacial Chasm, we're safe. Everflowing Chalice for opponent, yep. Opponent did not go for the extra combats, maybe because they know they can't kill us. Opponent's trying to figure out their own plays. Oh, there you go. Opponent goes back to combat. Okay. Yeah, some people gonna die. We just need to make sure Glacial Chasm stays in play. Chaos Warp or something off the top would be bad. That's an Ulamog. Ulamog will do it. Let's see if they see it. Hopefully they don't. They see it. Now we're dead. Actually, maybe not. Because... no, that thing's got flying. Flying is a problem. Now what? Opponent's gonna fight this 2/2. The 2/2's gonna go down. Can we stop the flyer somehow? Yeah. They always find it. They always find the destroy any permanent off the top. Glacial Chasm, not getting it done. Opponent's gonna hit with Sword of Feast and Famine. Yep. Opponent untaps their lands. So the question is why opponent swords the Kozilek when he could have hit Dream Eater. So, yep, that's gonna do it. Feast and Famine Aggravated Assault. So good. So good. We can scoop it up right there. Opponent just, no one has anything, so no need to drag that out. So, looking at this game, one, I can tell you that I did not pilot very well. I definitely gave up value. I tapped my lands in ways where we could have made a couple extra plays over the course of the game. I don't know how that shapes up. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. Understanding which line you need to be going on is a really big deal. Like, maybe we should have gone for Dark Depths at some point and copied it with Thespian Stage instead of Valakut. I was trying to get the Valakut thing going because we had Scapeshift at one point, and then we lost Scapeshift, and that hurt. What else? We kind of just got stuck in the middle part of the game. Lord Windgrace went down off that kill spell, and I think that was a really big deal. If Windgrace sticks right there, we get 2 extra land triggers, we probably burn some more stuff out, then we probably are also able to do a lot more on the following turn, so I think that was a big deal. I think it was really a case of just like removal got us at the right time in combination with I didn't pilot the best, not knowing the deck that well. And I think all that stuff kind of just adds up to where we got to. Etali was able to climb back into it. And yeah, they were able to assemble their combo and just, their combo is much more linear than the stuff we're doing. The stuff we're doing has a lot of moving parts, but is generally very difficult to interact with. It's just not that easy to stop lands, though. Glacial Chasm got blown up twice. I would say that that's kind of out of the ordinary You know, maybe it gets blown up once. You really need a lot of stuff to take it down twice. And they hit an Ulamog off the top, which, you know, spin the wheel, get lucky with Etali. That will happen sometimes, so yeah. As far as things that I would change in the deck, again, I'm not super comfortable with this deck style, so I don't know all of the best things to be doing or what could make it better, but I would say that this Infernal Tribute didn't look like it was doing much for me. Like, for 1 more mana, you can just play Erebos or Greed and not have to sacrifice permanents. So, I'd probably get rid of that. I added a Splendid Reclamation into the deck. Because of no Ren and 6, you could easily add a Splendid Reclamation in there, and I think that would be pretty good. You could also look at, like, other win conditions if you wanted, Mob Rule or Insurrection. You know, something that gives you an out if your land plan isn't working. Could be very interesting, but you don't have like a ton of combat incentive in the deck. That also being the case, there's a Crater Hoof in here. 18 creatures is not super high. We seem to miss a lot of them or they died or whatever the case was. So I don't know that Crater Hoof is necessarily the best thing to go for in this deck. Like, I get that it's a really powerful card, but there just aren't that many creatures, so I don't know. Like, during the course of the game, I just didn't see the stuff that would make me want to say, yeah, I want to go get a Crater Hoof right now. So, I don't know. Maybe that is what it is, but... So, potentially, that could be something else. Not sure. Other than that, I would say that everything else in here looked pretty good. I don't think I would change too much else. I think I was kind of hurting for another way to get stuff back out of the graveyard, but that's only because we didn't go for the Seasons Past, though I forget when the wheel happened. That might have just gotten rid of Seasons Past. I can't remember. Oh, one thing you might want to add, you could probably have a little bit more in the way of play more lands per turn. There's an Exploration. You could add like a Rites of Flourishing if you wanted, although giving opponents stuff is like, you know, may not be the best, but it should help you more than your opponents. What are the other land per turn cards? Azusa is the big one. We've got Azusa. Is there an Oracle in here? We've got an Oracle. I guess I just didn't run into a lot of those, so I think those would have helped. Just didn't catch them. It's kind of awkward. Actually, you know what you could add? You could add like a Torment of Hellfire up here. If you wanted to do that, I get that like people don't like dying to Torment of Hellfire. Lands plus Torment of Hellfire is like a pretty annoying way to win because it sort of invalidates like a lot of the rest of the deck. It's like, okay, I'm just going to make as many land drops as possible. Now I play this thing and you all die. If you're going for pure efficiency of a win, then yes, that's the thing to do. If you want your opponents to be able to play the game a little bit, maybe not. Maybe not. So, yeah, something to think about. But I think that one black card, I think, is the only thing that I would cut from this deck. Everything else looks to be fine. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we just got hit with a lot of removal, and I think opponents outplayed us a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, in addition to my TCG affiliate player link, I now have an affiliate link with Flipside Gaming, an LGS from my hometown. You can use the promo code REPLAY to save 10% on your next order over $10. Both affiliate links are in the description below. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below.